Today we're going to talk about my latest crazy idea for wild hacks. Right here we have a Grizzly 165 quart cooler, which is about the size that you need to haul a whole elk bone in. As you can see, it takes up a significant amount of my bed here. It's about as wide as my truck bed and probably about a fourth as deep as my truck bed. And when it's full of elk, it weighs well over 200 pounds with the cooler and the ice. Not exactly fun to open and close and lift into this truck. It also makes camping in the back of the truck almost impossible, especially when I'm going with my son, who's almost as tall as I am at this point. So what do? How do we fix this problem? Well, right now I have a very heavy duty, it's like a 3/16 inch steel plate bumper that seems to be there for basically giving me some extra tow points and places to jack my truck up when I'm stuck in the mud. Not a whole lot other use than that. But there's a company that makes a very strong pivot bearing that latches on, or not latches, it welds onto this bumper right here. You can modify it for many other bumpers, called 4X Innovations. And tomorrow I'm gonna go visit a welder to help him, or to help me, put together a swing arm that would normally be sort of the same kind of thing you'd use for a large 35 or 37 inch tire that wouldn't fit in the tire well. I only have 33s on this truck, so I'm gonna use that space here for my cooler instead. And if I'm lucky, I might be able to get a jerry can on it, my farm jack, maybe a couple of Rotopac's water bottles on the inside. And if I'm really lucky, I might also be able to get my MaxTrax running boards on it so that this entire camping situation inside the truck can just be our beds and our sleeping gear, and all that recovery gear and our cooler can sit back here. And now we have basically a go anywhere camper that gets decent gas mileage. We'll see about that. We'll find out tomorrow after we get to welding. I've spoken to 5 different welders. They all seem to think it's possible, and I've gone with the one that seemed the most confident. So we'll see how this goes. If you're wondering why I decided to put this swing out on my bumper, it's simply to get better departure angle when I'm going off-road. If I were to use the hitch, which has high weight capacity already, it would get in the way of my departure angle clearance. All right, guys, here it is. Got it welded up. Got all the accessory mounts bolted on, and I bedlinered it. I used a Monster liner. It's just really durable. And I had to Monster liner the rear bumper as well, since we had it welded here and all the powder coat got fried. But let's go over this. Go over the deets. This is how you open it. I'll get to that in a second. Let's talk about the back first. I have a jerry can holder with a locking latch. That's for a good 5 gallons of gas. I have these pins here which hold this. This is the cooler rack. That folds down when it's needed. On the bottom of the cooler rack, we have MaxTrax pins. They'll lock in there nice and securely. And on the other side, I'll show you in a second, it's gonna hold water. So let's get this opened up. Pull that back. Swing it open. These are, this is like the generic mount for the Rotopacks. You can see my water jugs down there. I got the generic mounts because they were basically the same. The Rotopacks are made in the US, but it looks like the Rotopacks mounts are not. So I just found some equivalent ones for about half the price. So that'll hold a couple of jugs. Then I have the fold out camp table. And yeah, that's it opened up. Let's get around to the other side and I'll show you how this cooler rack works. Pull the pins here. Now you could put other things besides the cooler here. That's just what I chose to do because that's the goal. I wanted to be able to keep the cooler out of the back of the truck so I can basically overland hunt, not have to set up camp where I go. Just have the bed ready to go in there and it's set. Got a little hung up over here. And there we go. That is fitted to this 165 quart Grizzly cooler. And it'll set right in there. This is a lock by Denai. It latches down in here and holds the cooler down. I have the tie straps, the cargo buckles. They lock it in nice and they keep that cord nice and tidy when I'm not using it. And then I put these 800-pound cables. Actually, I think the cable's rated higher than that, but the hardware, the weak point is 800 pounds on these. So it should be plenty sturdy. Plus, I had an extra weld put in here, a little block to back it against the board so not all the weight is on there, and if one of these cables slipped, I have backup. The bearing inside here is a double shear bearing by 4X Innovations. It's really slick. They use Dom steel for the housing. Basically, it's a wheel bearing, and as far as I could tell, it was the only swing out pivot that was using such a sturdy bearing that could go past, 200 pounds was the highest I found aside from this one. But yeah, this drives around town like it's not even there. We'll know once I get it out in the backcountry how it performs off-road and with hopefully an elk in the back pretty soon. Well, there you have it, folks. The Elkmobile cooler carrier with a Grizzly 165 fits a whole bone-in elk, 3 gallons of ice, and my food. I'm surprised. But let's see if this thing opens and doesn't fall off the back of my truck. So far, so good. Instant access, baby. Oh, it'd help if I unlocked it first. There we go. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video and thought you got something out of it or might help someone else, please share. And if you have any questions how I did this build, please comment. I do plan to put affiliate links at the bottom at some point so you can have access to all the different pieces that I used. And of course, if you like seeing videos like this, I've started making a new library of this type of thing. Please subscribe to stay posted on what's going on, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you again.